much burned. Grabbed my hand, stepped on the floor, and we turned. In a world of temporary where nothing lasts, found space to the side, watched it moving fast. Sometimes I feel like a man in a monkey suit, just trying to make us a living for me and you. Cutting holes, pulling wires through the wall till night would fall. Yeah, stay with me when I'm old and gray. Tell me I was young and strong, catching lightning in a bottle, walking on a wire full of hope and desire. But I can no longer stand, pull me up by the hand, stay with me. Will we hit the curves whose walls do not shake? And if not for you, things bend and things break. In moments of quiet desperation in our lives, we pray for separation from our innermost sides. Sometimes I know I was so bullheaded, fighting just shut up and learned how to hear. You were always there to remind me that wrong wasn't right. Built in a day. Stay with me when I'm old and gray. Tell me I was the right man to walk on the right day. When the circle's crowded, the other side was fine. They push and shove, they ain't got time to stay. Yeah, stay with you when you're old and gray. Tell you you're more beautiful than you were back in the day. And every line on your face with dignity and grace. You no longer hear, let me whisper in your ear and stay with me. Stay You struck a match, you lit a fire when nothing much burned. Grabbed my hand, stepped on the floor, and we turned. In a world of temporary where nothing lasts, found space to the side, watched it moving fast. Sometimes I feel like a man in a monkey suit, just trying to make us a living for me and you. Cutting holes, pulling wires through the wall till night would fall. Yeah, stay with me when I'm old and gray. Tell me I was young and strong, Sometimes I feel like a man in a monkey suit, just trying to make us a living for me and you. Cutting holes, pulling wires through the wall till night would fall. Yeah, stay with me when I'm old and gray. Tell me I was young and strong, catching lightning in a bottle, walking on a wire full of hope and desire. But I can no longer stand to be up by the hand. Stay with me. Will we hit the curves whose walls do not shake? And if not for you, things bend and things break in moments of quiet desperation in our lives. We pray for separation from our innermost sides. Sometimes I know I was so bullheaded, thought it just shut up and learned how to hear. You were always there to remind me that Rome was not built in a day. Stay with me when I'm old and gray. Tell me I was the right man to walk on the right day. When a circle's crowded, the other side is fine. 'Cause they push and shove, they ain't got time to stay. Yeah, I'll stay with you when you're old and gray. Tell you you're more beautiful than you were back in the day. And every line on your face with dignity and grace. You can no longer hear, let me whisper in your ear and stay with me. Stay with me.
Good evening. Mr. Kyle Davis from Richmond, Virginia, who I'm going to have on here in a second. You guys are doing well. Get all these wonderful camera angles correct. We don't need two of me, only one. That much Dave is not needed. Hope you guys are doing well. A little step forward, getting some calls for some bookings today. We hopefully see some trickles going in next Friday. With a little bit of, I think a little bit of start this Friday. I know with the 10 capacity rule in a lot of these bars, it's going to be slow going, but we'll definitely get there. I'm going to call Kyle and get him on the phone. I've known Kyle forever. I wish you guys could really hear the music when you're calling somebody on Skype. It's real nice. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. I think he's picking up now. I think we almost have him.
You there?
Kyle Davis. I don't have you on video yet. But I have a blank screen, but I do hear you.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. I got one of your daughters though. Your daughter just peeked in there.
I don't know how to turn it around.
Let's see. We got to turn this
That's
around.
a good photo of the door, though. It's a really good video of the door. If you guys are going for that, it looks great. It's probably one of the best doors I've seen today.
You can just...
I've never used Skype.
Now,
So there
for
should
some
be like
reason,
a little button that says like turnaround, right?
That's what I'm looking for.
huh? That's
All
funny.
right, we might have to do the front-facing camera.
Okay, let's use the front-facing camera.
Bam.
Can you see me?
We're getting there. We're kind of crooked. You're behind something right now.
Yeah. You're gonna have to, Andy. You're gonna have to, yeah, make sure that it's not the. I think we just lost him.
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm waiting for you guys to get your camera angle.
Okay. We had it earlier.
I mean, it was
Well, yeah,
perfect.
from the front-facing one.
Gotcha.
The front one.
No worries. Hey man, we got time. This is
Okay.
Brian Sewell. I don't know if you remember Brian Sewell. Brian Sewell was a musician. You played with him back in the day
Yeah.
at Jack Quinn's. He was messaging me back and forth. He goes, man, I remember playing down there with him for a St. Patty's Day party years and years ago. I was like, well, St. Patty's Day, we don't always remember those parties, but I'll tell him.
Absolutely. I remember.
Perfect. That's great, man. How you doing, man?
Brian. Good. You doing okay?
Man, I'm doing well. For those people who don't know, this is Mr. Kyle Davis. Kyle, are you originally from Richmond, or where are you originally from?
I am originally from just outside of Richmond, really from Hopewell.
Hopewell,
And
okay.
yeah, and you know, we live just kind of in between Richmond and Williamsburg right now.
Yep.
And yeah, so not too far, but I spent a lot of time playing in the Virginia Beach and Norfolk area. You know, when I first started out, a lot of time, as you know, you helped
man.
me.
So let's kind of go back through your career as far as starting. How many albums have you released total? Is it, am I wrong saying 5?
Well, 6 counting the River City Gang record, which is a record I did like the last one I really did in 2009, which was kind of this country twinged record with written with Brian and Ricky Friedman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this new record, Make It Count, we released a couple of months ago.
Yep.
It's the first record that I've released in a long time, in like 13 years. So people thought I had gone away for sure.
Very good, man. So, you sent me "Stay" a minute ago. So talk about that song as far as how it was recorded, all that good stuff.
You know, and I'll say, do you have a camera now? Do you have a?
Oh, I can see you. I can see you perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'll say that this whole record is very thematic and kind of swings around several themes, and "Stay" is really I always say, what it's about actually kind of has expanded, and I would write part of the song. I started with Stuart Myers. Stuart Myers was in Agents of Good Roots, and he did some Jason Mraz and Lifehouse and the String Dusters, which is an awesome band, and I got part of that song done. I got part of the record done, and then I switched to another guy in Richmond,
Mm-hmm.
and his name is Scott Lane, and we finished the record. But that song, I always say that song is it represents the people in your life, and a significant other, and also the people in your life that don't hold us up quite to the lights to see the fractures and the fault lines,
Mm-hmm.
and that are always there, and that the ones that keep coming back, and the ones that look past all the mistakes, and so they're the ones in the end that kind of stay, and some of them are friends, some of them are family. Sometimes our families aren't in there for the long haul.
Definitely understand that. That's,
Yeah,
I mean, the embodiment of how you write in general, and you mentioned recording a little bit. I think a lot of people don't realize what a vast collection of studios, producers, and just in general. I mean, down here there's a ton, but I mean, go up to Richmond, Northern Virginia. I mean, you've got David Lowery, who had Sound of Music back in the '90s. You've got Dave Grohl, who up in Northern Virginia has a studio. Obviously, Dave Matthews up in Charlottesville. There are so many really great producers, and a lot of these guys you've actually worked with. over the years
Yeah,
and recorded in studios, and you've taken what I like about this studio and gone here with this producer and whatnot. And I think which is great is you're not really afraid to experiment with some different things.
man, I really, and I was kind of looking for the sound, with Stewart. He's super talented, and I love Stewart, and he kind of wanted to make a Jackson Brown record, and I think he kind of saw it that way, and maybe I changed, and I kind of saw more David Gray. I saw a little more of this kind of drums and snares with delays on it, and a few different things, and so it kind of changed, and then that stuff changes your lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
But the themes were always the themes kind of were the main part of that record. And you were talking about producers. One song on here, I worked a bunch with me and David Lowery worked together on a bunch of songs a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And one song, it was kind of a rock song, and I felt like, and it was called Someday Soon, and it was almost like it was an exit. I was getting out of music. My kids were little. I was just burned out,
Mm-hmm.
and I was finishing that song up. Well, I picked that song and I brought it to this pile, and I kept the chorus, but I rewrote the verses, and it was kind of an exit with David, and I loved the way I did it with him, and it was kind of a re-entrance, and I did it totally different. It was a totally reimagined, and so I actually did keep one of the songs I worked with Lowry,
Mm-hmm.
but I love working with, I played a lot of sports, and I love coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what it's embedded in. And I loved working. I still, Don Dixon's a great friend of mine, and I want to do another record with him. I talked to him all the time. He kind of directed me during this record a lot and gave me ideas. And I worked with Jim Ebert a bunch, or some. He did a couple of releases for me for Universal Records in the early 2000s.
Jimmy's been around for so long. I mean, we're working with Boy Oh Boy or Fight of Gravity, and I say Boy Oh Boy still. With so many bands. I mean, he's worked with so many Richmond type bands, but just bands in general. I mean, people who probably don't know their names. I mean, he's a monster. I mean,
oh man, he's super talented. He did Butch Walker, Marvelous 3, and he did everything, and he did lots of great bands. He's done lots of great work, and he's a really great guy. He's like a 25-year cancer survivor, and does a lot of work for Cancer Rocks, and he's just a super guy. I love working with producers. I kind of know to a great degree what I'm going to bring to the table, and I love to think somebody else is going to bring a whole lot more, other ideas that are going to surprise me.
Well, I think as a songwriter, I think you obviously start out as your own producer, your own engineer, and you kind of bring these ideas. You mentioned Butch Walker from Marvelous 3, who is an amazing producer. Who people probably don't know this. I mean, how many people actually that he's done, Avril Lavigne, and all these different artists that he's kind of brought to the table. And I think as a singer songwriter, you are that person already. And when you get those juices flowing, and you get be exposed to different people, and you kind of absorb all that creative energy, like you said, and working with a producer and working with even just an engineer, whatever. Hey, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And you start feeding off each other. That's when the magic happens in the studio, obviously.
I love that, man. That is what I love. And so I did swing around. I recorded one song. Several of these songs were recorded 2 or 3 times, and I just didn't get it quite right. And then one song I even left Scott Lane's studio, and I went, and Jeremy and Dusty Simmons. Dusty Simmons is a drummer that plays with Chris, he's a lap steel player, and I'm zoning out. My brain. Zoning out.
Was that big? What studio was that?
Northern Virginia.
Okay.
And Jeremy has a studio in Richmond, and I went there and recorded the drums for this song. Came back and we kind of finished it out. It took a lot to finish this record. In a lot of ways. I wish I was just a quick writer and a quick song finisher, but it's painfully slow to figure out where these songs reveal themselves.
Was it painful writing it, or was it just a matter of trying to get the ideas down on tape and kind of figuring out, yes, that's what I'm hearing in my head, or because I know that, I mean, I've worked with you before. Obviously, I know you are a bit of a perfectionist to try to figure out. I want to translate what's in my head and what I'm hearing down and be able to sing this and put this down and go, here's the product. And I know that sometimes for some people it's just not that easy.
Yeah, you know, it was getting a feel or getting a groove, and then and you know musically and then lyrically, it you know pretty much the whole record is really are things that I've absorbed and things that have happened to me and the people in my close circle in the last 10 years. So everything, every song is like a real song, you know. Um, you know, so it took a while to finish. You know, we were talking about Stay,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you worked with and know the guys in everything, and I mean in Fighting Gravity,
Yep.
and you remember the guys in the Ernies.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
You know, and I say this, I always shout out to my buddy Mike Hughes, was the bass player with Ernie's, and myself,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, people like that inspired that song. He, you know, he's dealt with sickness. His wife has been sick for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I think some people run at at any sign of a hardship, man. And I look at this guy, man, and I want to be that good one day. And I thought about things like that, the real things like that. I was trying to do justice to people in my life that I was kind of inspired by in most of these songs, you know.
Mm-hmm. What can we? What are we gonna play? I'm not gonna say because one of my so I've got two favorite songs as far as and
Okay.
I cannot remember and I always Mike Jones obviously who worked with a while ago, he had a favorite song too, which was the was it She Was a Northern Girl, she was Deep South. What was the name of
Oh,
that song?
falling in love without you.
Man, I tell you, I cannot believe that that was not a wedding anthem for more people because that was such a
Man.
great song, man. And I mean, absolutely love that. I mean, and a lot of people probably heard you on the radio here because Under the Coast, and you've actually, Paul Chagru and a lot of the guys down here are always big fans of you. But Buried Alive was, one that we actually heard on the radio a lot that was from down here. What any other
Yeah.
songs that made it to radio that people would have gone, oh yeah, that's Kyle Davis?
Well, so Buried Alive really started on WKOC, and then BOS and KBCO in Colorado picked it up, and then it, probably 150 stations picked that up, and then
Wow.
another song, the second single, "Dancing in the Rain," was picked up, but before that, what kind of got the deal was the song "Waiting for You" that I did down there.
Yep.
Did it when Mark and Don Dixon came down there. We did that, and that was played a bunch down on the coast also.
Well, what are you gonna play for us today?
Man, since we were talking about it, I was thinking about Play and Stay.
Oh, that'd be great, man. I'd love to hear it. Well,
All right.
everybody, this is my good friend Kyle Davis.
Thanks for having me, Dave. You struck a match, you lit a fire, nothing much burned. Grabbed my hand, stepped on the floor, and turned. In a world of temporary where nothing lasts, found space to the side, watched it moving fast. Sometimes felt like a man in a monkey suit just trying to make us a living for me and you. Pulling nails, pulling wires through the wall, watching night take us all. Yeah, stay with me when I'm old and gray. Tell me I was young and strong, catching lightning in a bottle, walking on a wire full of hope and desire. When I can no longer stand, pull me up by the hand and stay with me. shake. And if not for you, things bend and break. In moments of quiet desperation in our lives, break separation from our innermost sides. And sometimes I know I was so bullheaded, fighting just shut up and learn how to hear. You're always there to remind me that Rome was not built in a day. Stay with me when I'm old and gray. Tell me I was the right man, walking the right day. The winner's circle's crowded, the other side is fine. Yeah, 'cause they push and shove, they ain't got time to stay. Yeah, I will stay with you when you're old and gray. Tell you you're more beautiful you were back in the day. And the line on your face, dignity and grace. You can no longer hear, I will whisper in your ears, and we will stay. We will stay. We will stay.
That was great, brother. That was awesome, man.
Man, thank you for having me.
I never get sick of hearing you play, man. I definitely, when all this COVID gets done, man, I definitely need to bring you down here and do some shows. And there's so many people who enjoy, singer-songwriters, and obviously, there's not a ton of venues, but there's a couple that are really popping up. You're playing at, oh gosh, what's the one up in Gloucester? The Flatiron? What's it called?
Flatiron Crossroads.
Yeah, Flatiron Crossroads.
And
which has been a really cool
I'm doing
venue.
that. Yeah, we've moved that date in a couple times, and now they've combined that with a radio show and some different things. So that's really kind of a neat little nonprofit venue that's going really well. And so I guess as everything like everybody else, we'll start releasing some dates. And man, I'd love to come down there and play. I love coming down to the beach and play.
Yeah, well, there's nothing like playing outside, and I think it's obviously with everything going on with this pandemic, and we're gonna kind of tiptoe into venues, but I think that the outdoor venues are really gonna be the winners that people can kind of spread out and and sit outside and I can do well. So what's next for you? Are you doing any live streams or anything like that coming up?
There's a couple of places I've just finished doing 3 or 4 different live streams, and I think I'm going to just do one from the house here in about a week and a half.
Very good.
I'm trying to do one every few weeks. I just did one secret stage from the Beacon Theater. Really awesome because that's a really great old theater, that they've restored.
Did you hear that delayed sound effect from like a minute ago? Did you just hear the applause that went off? I don't know if you heard on my side, like this, like literally, I think I hit the applause button like 2 minutes ago, and it just went off.
Hey, that's great. Be like a Seinfeld show.
Hey, I love Max, man. I'm processing a lot of stuff right now with video and everything. Always trying to get this stuff better. So it's a learning process here, my friend. Well, Kyle, I really do appreciate it, man. I'll check back with you in a couple weeks, and I'll definitely have you back on. But definitely send me a message where you're playing at so we can post it online. Okay.
I will do, man. Thanks, Dave. You take
All right, brother.
care.
Hey, man, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Davis, Richmond's own Kyle Davis. Bam. quickie show today. Quickie show. One of my other restaurateurs was getting ready to they're trying to get cleaned up and everything and reopen for Friday. So with this limited capacity of 10 individuals and to-go food, keep at it. Be sure to support all these local restaurants. I think our area has done a great job with it, and there's a couple different Facebook groups online, the Takeout, Hampton Roads, and Embrace 757 that are really promoting all these great places to eat. We're trying to really do a good job in promoting the live stream. So we just started yesterday. If you go to Rockstar 757, what you can do is you can our regular calendar, but instead of it saying a club, it's just going to say streaming on Facebook. We're going to try to carry as many of those streams on our channel. If not, if we can't catch it live, what we'll do is rebroadcast it when we have space available. But you can always go to that artist page. They're going to have their Venmo or PayPal or their information for donations. Please support them. This has been a very tough, 2 months for a lot of our musicians, and obviously our government hasn't really been so quick to get these PPP loans at all, or these small business loans. So they are definitely running on fumes. But hopefully we'll all be back at it here very soon. Tomorrow night, I couldn't even tell you who's on because I had to move some things around, but I will post it shortly. I have another Richmond artist that is supposed to be on, but we might have to move it to next week because they were having some difficulties. They were trying to get, a lot of people were trying to get all fancy with their setup and not just to go through the Skype. They're trying to use their phones and use different Zoom, modules or whatnot, so they can get it studio quality, which is almost virtually impossible, obviously, through a cell phone. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like the page and be sure to share it. Be sure to check out Kyle Davis as well. He's on Facebook and obviously KyleDavisMusic.com. You guys have a great night. See you later. Peace.